7, verses 1 through 8, 14 to 15, 21 to 23. The Pharisees and some of the teachers of the law who had come from Jerusalem gathered around Jesus and saw some of his disciples eating food that with hands that were unclean, that is, unwashed. The Pharisees and all the Jews do not eat unless they give their hands a ceremonial washing, holding to the tradition of the elders. When they come from the marketplace, they do not eat unless they wash. They observe many other traditions, such as the washing of cups, pitchers, and kettles. So the Pharisees and the teachers of the law asked Jesus, "Why don't your disciples live according to the tradition of the elders instead of eating their food with unclean hands?" He replied, "Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you, you hypocrites, as it is written. These people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teaching are rules taught by men." And Jesus called the crowd to him and said, "Listen to me, everyone. Understand this. Nothing outside a man can make him unclean by going into him. Rather, it is what comes out of a man that makes him unclean. For from within, out of men's hearts come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. All these evils come from inside and make a man unclean." This is where were you at 8:30 something, I think, more or less? September 11, 2001. Do you remember? Obviously, you remember the place. If we did see the event live in the towers in New York, where it's at, we at least saw it on CNN or on the news channel that played it over and over all of that thing. You remember, it's fixed in your brain. You could probably be 25 minutes from your death and you'll still remember watching that. Do you remember a man named Patrick O'Donnell? It was a mere few weeks right after, and Patrick O'Donnell realized he had some sort of lesion on his arm, and he was concerned about it enough that he went to the doctor. When they went to the doctor, they did a test, or many tests, and they ultimately discovered that this lesion was caused by a fine white powder called anthrax that he had somehow come into contact with. Later, that was traced down to the mail processing plant where he worked. And it was discovered that the attack that started, we thought, on September 11th was not yet over. Someone else or something else was attacking us with an effort to start a biological epidemic throughout the country. No one knew how much they had been in contact with. No one knew how far it had been spread. But that mail processing plant was shut down 2 years after September 26, 2001. 2 years. In order to find an unknown enemy at the time. And I can't, for the life of me, remember any resolution to the anthrax scare. And you? Unknown enemies are a dangerous thing. If you don't know who your enemy is, you are preoccupied without the ability to define who he is and where he's located, to search in all directions, only to find out you're going down paths that are completely wrong and you're wide open to future attacks. Unknown enemies are far worse, in a certain sense, than known enemies. Jesus was talking to his disciples, preaching and teaching as normal. And we see another occurrence that's par for the course in our text this morning. Jesus again comes into the contact with the religious leaders. We know them as the Pharisees, the rulers, the religious orders. The people that, if you had a spiritual question in the day, those were the ones you'd go to because they for sure would give you the answer, or at least how they felt about it. They'd let you know exactly what you should be doing if you wanted to be right and honest and upright in society and therefore also with God. Do this, do that. The Pharisees and the rulers of the law were focused on fixing the problems of their society. They saw evidence of things going wrong. Sin was rampant. Shouldn't religion have something to say about that? We can say the very same thing about our society. We see evidence of it. If there's a problem in society, what do human beings do? Well, a very secular way to resolve the problem is to petition your representatives, your government, to enact new laws to stamp out the problem. And that's been tried over and over again. When the women a century ago had problems with their husbands getting hammered and coming home and once in a while becoming abusive, the answer was to start the temperance movement. Get rid of all use of alcohol altogether. Enact a new law because we've got to deal with this problem. Human beings invent laws to deal with social ills. Even our church body, when it had its very beginning, had the same mentality. You've heard about the situation from time to time where those Christian people you've seen, you thought were such good people, all of a sudden fall into horribly public sins. And you think to yourself, how can that possibly be? Well, if you found yourself thinking that, it's probably a failure to examine your own heart first and foremost, right? It's easier to see the speck in our neighbor's eye than the big log that's sticking out of ours. But it's also a reflection that human beings naturally go to the law to solve problems. The people that started our church body came over from the mission societies in Germany, and their goal was to serve the German immigrants here in the United States. And they had a lot of zeal. They were on fire for Jesus. They wanted to right the wrongs of society. And so they used themes like deeds, things that you do, not creeds, things that you say. Their focus was on fixing the problems, the failures of Christian life in their congregations. Human beings always go to the law. Because the enemy is obvious, right? St. Paul talked in our second lesson this morning about the devil. And that our struggle is not about a struggle against flesh and blood, but our struggle is a spiritual struggle. That Christians have one foot planted here firmly in the world, in this physical place, but the other part is that we have another foot planted in the spiritual reality. What we see with our physical eyes is a shadow of what is to come. That eternity is much longer than the finite. That the infinite is much longer than the finite. That though we're dwellers here and we move from place to place, this isn't our home. So therefore, put on the full armor of God. Because the devil has one job. And his only only job is to take the faith that the Holy Spirit has planted in your heart through the gospel and rip it out. Because that faith lays hold to a Savior that is in your place, a Savior that has walked perfectly on your behalf under God's law, a Savior that's died innocently for you and shed his blood to wash you clean from all of your sins. All the devil wants to do is take your eyes off Jesus and put it on something else. You see evidence of the enemy's work in the world. I saw a woman with a placard listing, I think 300,000 more or less children. Probably know this number better than I do, but I think more or less we voluntarily kill 300,000 or more children on an annual basis. Just think about that, for example. If there was an evil dictator that dropped a series of atom bombs on a city and took out 300,000 people, what would be the reaction of the world? But the father of lies has taken eyes of humanity off the truth of God's word, that life is precious and life is to be preserved, and he's shifted it to tough steps. But here, let's not even argue about that. Let's say it is a tough step. God's word clearly instructs us that it's the themselves through the soul. I know I'm sitting where other places. If I'm single, carrying his righteousness, there's a soul that. Whether you define it as a human being from conception or whether you define it as a clump of self, the father of lies shifted the mentality. That's his work. To the point where we see signs that say, "Thou shalt not interfere with a woman's productive rights," mimicking the 10 Commandments. We see it with the injustice of the world. We see it throughout history. When we hear stories of the slavery that we see it when we look face to face with the skeletons in Dachau. We hear about it when we hear the stories of communism. And the millions of corpses stacked upon each other in the name of political ideology in the last century. Deception. Taking human beings' eyes off the truth to something else. And the world really is nothing more than a willing ally as it adopts false prophets. Enemies, but enemies that we can see and know. Jesus talks to us in our text this morning about young men. Calls the Pharisees something pretty nasty. He says, "You hypocrites." He even goes back to God's word, Isaiah in the Old Testament, and says, "He was talking about you 700 years ago." But he's called worse. Called them whitewashed tombs. You know, we see this in the cemetery today, those huge mausoleums built to the honor of some gorgeous granite and stonework, fine carving, but rotting corpse inside. You see, the Pharisees reverted to the law. Instead of simply taking God at his word, they invented new laws because they were frustrated with the lack of piety in their community. Jesus healed someone on the Sabbath day. Remember the story? And instead of celebrating the fact that this person was healed of their ailment, what did they say? They accused him of breaking the Sabbath, of working on the Sabbath day, preparing for another human being. And his response to Sabbath wasn't made for man. Man wasn't made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man. Your time to rest with God and be spiritually refreshed. You're taking the Sabbath from your gift from God and making it a day of spiritual work. Your eyes are off what's right. You've twisted and contorted God's word. Jesus' disciples were walking along on the Sabbath day. They grabbed a piece of wheat and they rubbed it in their hands to take the husk off and eat it. What was the accusation? You're working on the Sabbath. You're harvesting. Human beings always go too far. Jesus exposes the because he comes to us with the same message we have with the Pharisees that the unknown enemy is you yourself. The unknown enemy resides in your own heart. The unknown enemy is an ally of the devil, or else called our sinful flesh. And I have evidence for that. Have you ever said a prayer like this? Lord, I know I screwed up. But if you just get me out of it this one time, I promise I'll reorganize my life and put you guys in front of me. Lord, we have so many problems in our family. We thought the problems were contained on this side, but now the problems are coming over from here. If you just get us out of this situation, I promise we'll get back to church and put you as a priority in our lives. Lord, my daughter is so distracted by these friends she's hanging out with. I fear she's on a path, and if you could just help her, we'll do whatever is necessary. Those sound like decent prayers, aren't they? But human beings always go back to where? The law to try to solve their spiritual problems. God, if you do this, I will do this. There is no one that is righteous, not even one. Isaiah, the same one that talked about the Pharisees being whitewashed tombs and hypocrites. I'm sorry, but Isaiah, the one that called the Pharisees hypocrites 700 years before Jesus was talking to them, is the one that says, all our righteous acts are like filthy rags. Human beings that want to go to the law can never gain the favor of God by acts of the law, because everything is tainted from birth. You have lived every hour, every second, every day with a sinful nature that disqualifies you from making deals with God. Because of your sinful nature, He can't even have you in His presence. It's our sins that have removed us from Him. And it's not just actions. It's thoughts, it's word, it's the very essence of our corruption that disqualifies us. So Jesus says, know your enemy. Know the enemy that's in you. You See, that's where the Savior steps in. He says, don't add to God's word, don't subtract God's word, and don't stop listening to God's word at the law. That's natural for us too. When we hear God picking at the scabs of our past, we say, I don't want to hear this anymore. But God's message continues the gospel. Where he reaches down and picks you up and dusts you off and says, no, don't look to yourself. Don't look to your law, the law. Look to my son. And recognize that what you couldn't do for yourself, he did in your place. And he left his throne in heaven, placed himself under my holy and righteous law, and kept it perfectly for you. And then, to wipe those sins clean for me forever, stretch out on his arms on the cross. And there he bled and died and washed it. By his wounds, you were healed. He attached you to this Savior, not because you thought or chose him, as Jesus said to his disciples, it's not that you chose me, but I chose you. He did that through waters of baptism, where the Bible tells us it's a participation in his death. That price paid by Jesus allows us to participate in his death. We're dead to the old way of things. We're dead to sin. But it's also a participation in his resurrection. God has made us alive. Alive to serve him now when the enemy's arrows are still coming at us. Alive to live in forever. Enemies. Some are easy to identify, some not so easy. But Jesus has peeled back the cloudiness of this sinful world and revealed to you the unknown enemy. The unknown enemy that he defeated for your salvation. Thanks be to him forever and ever. Having heard the word of God, we now come together. The words of the apostles